It was the summer of 1940. Mrs. Emily Carlyle, a wealthy woman from London, arrived in New York City with her 20-year-old daughter, Margaret. They were on their way to visit family in San Francisco, but decided to stop for a few nights at the prestigious Waldorf Astoria Hotel. It was a grand hotel, known for its luxury and impeccable service. Emily and Margaret checked into room 342, a spacious and elegant suite on the third floor. They unpacked their luggage and decided to rest for the night. The long journey from London had taken a toll on Emily's health, and by morning she was feeling quite unwell. Margaret grew worried and rushed downstairs to fetch a doctor. The hotel staff assured her they would send someone up immediately. But when Margaret returned with the doctor just 30 minutes later, the room was completely different. The bed was perfectly made, as if no one had slept in it. Their luggage was gone. The curtains were different, and there was a fresh coat of paint on the walls. Even more shocking, there was no sign of Mrs. Emily Carlyle. Margaret looked at the doctor in confusion. "Where's my mother? What happened to our room?" The doctor, puzzled, glanced around and said, "Are you sure this is the right room?" Margaret nodded frantically. "Yes, this is room 342. We checked in last night." But when they went to the hotel manager, he insisted that no such guest had ever stayed in the hotel. There was no record of Emily Carlyle or Margaret checking in. Even their luggage had vanished without a trace. Margaret pleaded with the staff to search for her mother. She showed them the room key, but it didn't match any of the current locks. The hotel launched an investigation, but nothing was found. It was as if Emily had never existed. The theories behind the disappearance. The incident became a sensation in the city. Newspapers picked up the story, calling it the Vanishing Room. People began speculating about what could have happened, time loop or parallel universe. Some believed that Emily had slipped into a different dimension or time period. Hotel conspiracy. Another theory was that Emily had died of an infectious disease, and the hotel covered it up to avoid a scandal. They might have redecorated the room overnight to erase any trace of her presence. Margaret's delusion. There were also whispers that Margaret had imagined the entire event due to trauma. But how could she fabricate such vivid details? Years later, Margaret continued searching for answers. She visited archives, spoke to former hotel staff, and even hired private investigators. But she never found her mother or any evidence of their stay at the Waldorf Astoria. To this day, the mystery remains unsolved. The room where it happened is still part of the hotel, but the staff refuses to talk about it. Some say if you visit room 342 at night, you can still hear faint whispers and feel a sudden chill, as if Mrs. Emily Carlyle is still trapped between worlds, waiting to be found.